Question 1. A project manager is struggling to manage conflicting expectations among key stakeholders regarding the project's scope and deliverables. Which of the following is the most effective approach to resolve these conflicts and foster collaboration? A. Escalate the issue to the project sponsor for a definitive decision. B. Prioritize the expectations of the most powerful stakeholders. C. Facilitate a structured workshop to discuss differing viewpoints and find a mutually agreeable solution. D. Document all conflicting expectations and proceed with the most feasible option. Answer: C. Facilitate a structured workshop to discuss differing viewpoints and find a mutually agreeable solution. The most effective way to address conflicting stakeholder expectations is through direct, collaborative engagement. A structured workshop provides a neutral forum where stakeholders can openly discuss their perspectives, understand underlying needs, and collectively work towards a consensus or compromise that aligns with project objectives. This approach emphasizes shared problem-solving and builds trust, which is crucial for fostering strong stakeholder relationships. Remember, proactive and collaborative conflict resolution often leads to more sustainable and widely accepted project outcomes. Question 2. During the execution phase of an Agile project, a key business stakeholder frequently requests changes that deviate from the agreed-upon sprint goal, causing delays. What is the most appropriate action for the Scrum Master or project manager to take? A. Implement the changes immediately to satisfy the stakeholder and maintain goodwill. B. Decline all changes until the next sprint planning meeting. C. Facilitate a discussion between the stakeholder and the development team to understand the impact and prioritize new requests effectively. D. Document the changes as potential future enhancements and focus solely on the current sprint goal. Answer: C. Facilitate a discussion between the stakeholder and the development team to understand the impact and prioritize new requests effectively. In an Agile environment, continuous collaboration with stakeholders is paramount, but it must be balanced with protecting the team's focus and sprint goals. The Scrum Master or project manager should facilitate a discussion where the stakeholder can articulate their needs, and the team can explain the impact on the current sprint, allowing for an informed decision on how to incorporate the request, perhaps by reprioritizing or deferring it to a future sprint. This approach maintains transparency, respects the team's capacity, and ensures that value is delivered incrementally. Always aim for collaborative solutions that balance stakeholder needs with team stability. Question 3. A project team is developing a new software system, and a core functional area has a significant level of uncertainty regarding its technical implementation. Which type of stakeholder should the project manager prioritize for close, continuous collaboration in this situation? A. Regulatory authorities and compliance officers. B. End users and customer representatives. C. Senior management and project sponsors. D. Subject matter experts, SMEs, and technical architects. Answer: D. Subject matter experts, SMEs, and technical architects. When facing technical uncertainty, the most critical stakeholders for collaboration are those with deep technical knowledge and expertise. Subject matter experts, SMEs, and technical architects possess the specialized understanding required to explore solutions, assess risks, and guide the team through complex technical challenges. Engaging them continuously ensures that technical decisions are sound and aligned with the project's technical feasibility. Prioritizing their input helps de-risk technical aspects and drives effective problem-solving. Question 4. A project manager is reviewing the stakeholder engagement plan. The plan outlines various communication strategies, but the project environment is highly dynamic, with frequent changes in stakeholder influence and interest. What should the project manager do to ensure ongoing effective stakeholder collaboration? A. Adhere strictly to the initial plan to maintain consistency. B. Update the stakeholder engagement plan only if a major issue arises. C. Regularly review and adapt the stakeholder engagement plan based on changing stakeholder dynamics. D. Focus solely on satisfying the demands of the most vocal stakeholders. Answer: C. Regularly review and adapt the stakeholder engagement plan based on changing stakeholder dynamics. Stakeholder engagement is not a static process. It requires continuous monitoring and adaptation, especially in dynamic environments. Regularly reviewing the stakeholder engagement plan allows the project manager to identify shifts in stakeholder influence, interest, or expectations and to adjust communication and engagement strategies accordingly. This proactive approach ensures that collaboration remains effective and relevant throughout the project lifecycle. Remember, flexible and responsive stakeholder management is key to maintaining project alignment. Question 5. A project is experiencing delays due to a lack of timely decisions from a crucial stakeholder who is highly influential but not actively engaged. What is the best initial approach for the project manager to improve the stakeholder's engagement? A. Remove the stakeholder from the communication list to avoid further delays. B. Increase formal reporting frequency to highlight the impact of their inaction. C. Schedule a one-on-one meeting to understand their concerns, preferred communication methods, and barriers to engagement. D. Escalate the issue to the stakeholder's superior to compel their involvement. Answer: C. Schedule a one-on-one meeting to understand their concerns, preferred communication methods, and barriers to engagement. When facing disengagement from a highly influential stakeholder, a direct, personalized approach is often the most effective first step. Scheduling a one-on-one meeting allows the project manager to empathetically understand the stakeholder's perspective, identify any underlying issues, and tailor engagement strategies to their needs and preferred communication styles. This personal connection helps build rapport and can uncover reasons for disengagement that formal reporting might miss. Always remember that understanding a stakeholder's motivations is crucial for effective engagement. Question 6. A project team is developing a new customer service portal. During user acceptance testing, UAT, several key user representatives expressed strong dissatisfaction with the proposed interface, stating it is not intuitive. What is the most appropriate action for the project manager to take to collaborate effectively? A. Explain that the design meets original specifications and dismiss their concerns. B. Document their feedback and inform them it will be considered for a future release. C. Facilitate a collaborative session with the user representatives and the design team to capture detailed feedback and explore solutions. D. Prioritize completing the current development phase and then address user feedback. Answer: C. Facilitate a collaborative session with the user representatives and the design team to capture detailed feedback and explore solutions. When user representatives express strong dissatisfaction, it indicates a critical gap in meeting user needs, which is a key aspect of project success. The most effective approach is to facilitate a direct, collaborative session between the users and the design team. This allows for detailed feedback to be gathered, misunderstandings to be clarified, and potential solutions to be brainstormed jointly, ensuring the final product genuinely meets user expectations. Collaborative problem-solving strengthens stakeholder relationships and leads to better outcomes. Question 7. A project manager has identified a new stakeholder who holds significant influence over the project's success but has a negative perception of the project's objectives. Which stakeholder engagement strategy is most appropriate in this situation? A. Isolate the stakeholder to prevent them from negatively influencing others. B. Engage the stakeholder early and frequently, attempting to understand their concerns and win their support. C. Inform the stakeholder about project progress only through formal, written communications. D. Focus engagement efforts on more supportive stakeholders to counteract the negative influence. Answer B. Engage the stakeholder early and frequently, attempting to understand their concerns and win their support. When dealing with an influential stakeholder who has a negative perception, proactive and frequent engagement is crucial. By engaging them early, the project manager can understand the root causes of their negativity, address their concerns directly, and potentially convert them into project advocates by demonstrating how their interests align with project goals. This strategy aims to build trust and transform resistance into support, which is vital for project success. Remember, early and open communication can often mitigate potential conflicts. Question 8. In an Agile project, how should the project manager or Scrum Master best ensure that stakeholders are continuously aware of the project's evolving progress and upcoming features? A. Provide comprehensive monthly status reports via email. B. Hold formal quarterly stakeholder review meetings. C. Encourage active participation in sprint reviews and maintain a visible product backlog. D. Restrict communication to only the most critical information to avoid overwhelming stakeholders. Answer C. Encourage active participation in sprint reviews and maintain a visible product backlog. In Agile projects, transparency and continuous feedback are key to effective stakeholder collaboration. Encouraging stakeholders to attend sprint reviews allows them to see working software, provide immediate feedback, and understand the project's incremental progress. A visible and well-maintained product backlog also offers a clear view of upcoming features and their prioritization, fostering shared understanding and alignment. This continuous, interactive engagement is far more effective than infrequent, formal reports. Question 9. A project manager has just completed the identification of all potential stakeholders for a new, complex infrastructure project. What is the immediate next step for effective stakeholder collaboration? A. Begin sending regular project status reports to all identified stakeholders. B. Determine their interest, influence, involvement, and impact on the project. C. Develop a detailed communication management plan. D. Conduct a risk analysis related to stakeholder noncompliance. Answer B. Determine their interest, influence, involvement, and impact on the project. After identifying stakeholders, the crucial next step is to analyze them to understand their characteristics and potential impact on the project. This analysis, often using tools like the Power/Interest Grid or Influence/Impact Matrix, helps the project manager determine who needs to be engaged, to what extent, and through which strategies. Without this analysis, communication efforts might be misdirected or insufficient. Understanding stakeholder dynamics is fundamental to tailoring effective engagement plans. Question 10. During a critical phase of a project, the project manager identifies a key stakeholder who has expressed strong reservations about the project's approach, despite previous attempts at communication. The stakeholder's support is essential for project success. What is the most effective way to address this resistance? A. Bypass the stakeholder and seek support from their direct superior. B. Revisit the stakeholder analysis and engagement plan, seeking to understand the root cause of their resistance and tailor communication. C. Send a formal memo detailing the project's benefits and the risks of noncompliance. D. Ignore the resistance and proceed, assuming the stakeholder will eventually come around. Answer B. Revisit the stakeholder analysis and engagement plan, seeking to understand the root cause of their resistance and tailor communication. When encountering strong resistance from a critical stakeholder, a project manager should never ignore it or escalate immediately. The most effective approach is to revisit the stakeholder analysis to gain a deeper understanding of their concerns, motivations, and potential underlying issues driving their resistance. This deeper insight enables the project manager to tailor communication, offer alternative solutions, or demonstrate how the project aligns with their specific interests, ultimately aiming to transform resistance into support. Understanding the why behind the resistance is paramount. Question 11. A project is delivering a new regulatory compliance system. The legal department, a key stakeholder, expresses concern that the system might not fully meet future compliance requirements. What is the best collaborative approach for the project manager? A. Inform the legal department that the system meets current regulations and cannot accommodate future changes. B. Consult with the legal department to establish a process for monitoring and incorporating potential future regulatory changes. C. Prioritize the current system's features and defer all compliance concerns to post-implementation. D. Remove the legal department from daily communications to reduce scope creep. Answer: B. Consult with the legal department to establish a process for monitoring and incorporating potential future regulatory changes. When a key stakeholder like the legal department raises concerns about future compliance, it's critical to engage them collaboratively. The best approach is to consult with them to understand their concerns deeply and work together to establish a process within the project or for post-implementation that addresses the monitoring and incorporation of potential future regulatory changes. This demonstrates responsiveness, builds trust, and ensures the project delivers a solution that is robust and adaptable, rather than just meeting minimum current requirements. Proactive engagement with regulatory stakeholders is key to avoiding future issues. Question 12. A project manager is managing a highly distributed team and diverse stakeholders across multiple time zones. Which communication strategy is most effective for fostering strong collaboration and managing expectations? A. Rely primarily on email and asynchronous communication to avoid scheduling conflicts. B. Standardize all communication to formal written reports to ensure clarity. C. Utilize a blend of asynchronous and synchronous communication tools, adapting to stakeholder preferences and time zones. D. Schedule all meetings during the core working hours of the project manager's time zone. Answer: C. Utilize a blend of asynchronous and synchronous communication tools, adapting to stakeholder preferences and time zones. In a globally distributed environment, effective collaboration requires a flexible and tailored communication strategy. Relying solely on one type of communication can lead to misunderstandings or exclusion. A blend of asynchronous tools, example project management software, shared documents for updates, and synchronous tools, example video conferencing for critical discussions, allows for both flexibility and real-time interaction. Adapting to stakeholder preferences and time zones demonstrates respect and facilitates active participation, which is vital for maintaining engagement across distances. Question 13. A project manager needs to ensure that stakeholders are consistently aligned with the project's vision and objectives, especially as requirements evolve in an adaptive life cycle. What is a key technique to achieve this ongoing alignment? A. Distribute a detailed project charter annually. B. Conduct weekly formal presentations on project progress. C. Facilitate regular interactive workshops and product demonstrations. D. Limit stakeholder involvement to formal sign-offs at major milestones. Answer: C. Facilitate regular interactive workshops and product demonstrations. In an adaptive, agile life cycle, continuous stakeholder alignment is paramount due to evolving requirements and iterative delivery. Regular interactive workshops and product demonstrations, such as sprint reviews, allow stakeholders to see tangible progress, provide immediate feedback, and discuss emerging needs. This constant, direct engagement ensures shared understanding and helps maintain alignment with the evolving project vision, preventing significant deviations. Active participation fosters ownership and shared responsibility for the project's success. Question 14. A project manager is faced with a situation where a powerful stakeholder frequently changes their mind about requirements, causing significant rework and demoralizing the team. How should the project manager best collaborate with this stakeholder? A. Isolate the stakeholder from the team to prevent further disruption. B. Document all changes and inform the stakeholder of the impact on schedule and budget, then seek their prioritization. C. Accept all changes without question to maintain a positive relationship. D. Redirect the stakeholder to the project sponsor for all future requests. Answer: B. Document all changes and inform the stakeholder of the impact on schedule and budget, then seek their prioritization. When a powerful stakeholder frequently changes requirements, the project manager must engage them transparently and collaboratively while managing project stability. The best approach is to document every change request and communicate its impact on the project's schedule, budget, and resources. This factual communication allows the stakeholder to understand the implications of their requests and enables them to prioritize new requirements against existing commitments, ensuring that decisions are informed and mutually agreed upon, rather than unilaterally imposed. This balances stakeholder needs with project constraints. Question 15. A project is nearing its closing phase, and the project manager needs to ensure all deliverables are accepted and final approvals are secured from key stakeholders. What is the most effective approach for this final collaboration? A. Send a formal completion report and await their automatic approval. B. Schedule individual meetings with each key stakeholder to review deliverables and obtain formal sign-offs. C. Assume approval if no objections are raised within a specified time frame. D. Delegate the final approval process to the project team. Answer: B. Schedule individual meetings with each key stakeholder to review deliverables and obtain formal sign-offs. As a project nears its closing phase, securing formal acceptance and sign-offs from key stakeholders is crucial. Scheduling individual meetings provides a dedicated opportunity to present the final deliverables, address any lingering questions or concerns, and obtain explicit, documented approval. This personalized approach reduces ambiguity, ensures thorough review, and confirms that all stakeholder expectations regarding final outputs have been met, preventing disputes later. Always prioritize clear, documented closure with key stakeholders. Question 16. A project is encountering resistance from a group of operational employees who fear the new system will automate their jobs. What is the most effective collaborative strategy for the project manager to address this concern? A. Ignore their concerns, as automation is a necessary part of progress. B. Engage with the employees to understand their fears, communicate the benefits of the new system, and identify potential new roles or training opportunities. C. Force the implementation, as management has already approved the project. D. Provide only high-level presentations about the system's technical features. Answer: B. Engage with the employees to understand their fears, communicate the benefits of the new system, and identify potential new roles or training opportunities. When stakeholders resist due to fear of job loss, direct and empathetic engagement is essential for successful collaboration. The project manager should proactively meet with these employees to listen to their concerns, clearly communicate how the new system will benefit the organization, and, crucially, address their personal impact by identifying new opportunities or training. This approach builds trust, alleviates anxiety, and can transform resistant stakeholders into project supporters. Addressing human impacts directly fosters project buy-in. Question 17. The project sponsor is highly engaged but tends to make decisions that sometimes bypass established project processes or agreements with other stakeholders. What is the project manager's best collaborative response? A. Inform the project sponsor that their actions are out of line and request they follow processes. B. Document the sponsor's decisions and ensure the project team implements them without question. C. Have a direct conversation with the sponsor to clarify roles, responsibilities, and decision-making authority, emphasizing the importance of agreed processes for overall project success. D. Implement a communication blackout with the sponsor to force them to use formal channels. Answer: C. Have a direct conversation with the sponsor to clarify roles, responsibilities, and decision-making authority, emphasizing the importance of agreed processes for overall project success. When a highly engaged sponsor unintentionally undermines processes, the project manager's role is to gently guide and collaborate, not confront. A direct, private conversation with the sponsor is the best approach to clarify roles, reinforce agreed-upon decision-making processes, and explain how adherence to these processes benefits the project's overall efficiency and stakeholder alignment. This conversation should emphasize the shared goal of project success, positioning the project manager as a partner in achieving it. Maintain respectful communication to reinforce boundaries effectively. Question 18. During the project, a new, influential stakeholder group emerges that was not identified during the initial planning stages. What is the first thing the project manager should do? A. Immediately update the project schedule to accommodate their demands. B. Conduct a thorough stakeholder analysis for this new group. C. Dismiss them, as they were not part of the initial stakeholder register. D. Inform the project sponsor of the new group and await instructions. Answer: B. Conduct a thorough stakeholder analysis for this new group. When a new, influential stakeholder group emerges, the immediate and most critical action is to conduct a thorough stakeholder analysis. This analysis involves identifying their interests, influence, expectations, and potential impact on the project. Without this understanding, any subsequent engagement strategy would be guesswork. This systematic approach ensures that the project manager can then develop an appropriate plan to effectively collaborate with and manage the expectations of this newly identified group. Question 19. A project manager is struggling to get commitment from functional managers who need to allocate resources to the project. The functional managers claim their resources are already fully utilized. What is the most effective collaborative approach to secure the necessary resources? A. Report the functional managers to senior leadership for non-compliance. B. Renegotiate the project scope to reduce resource needs. C. Engage functional managers to understand their constraints, negotiate resource allocation, and highlight the project's strategic importance to their departments. D. Seek external consultants to fill the resource gaps. Answer: C. Engage functional managers to understand their constraints, negotiate resource allocation, and highlight the project's strategic importance to their departments. When facing resource allocation challenges, a collaborative and persuasive approach is more effective than confrontation. The project manager should engage functional managers directly, listening to their constraints and concerns regarding resource availability. By highlighting the project's strategic benefits to their departments and the organization, and by seeking to negotiate mutually agreeable resource commitments, the project manager can foster a sense of shared ownership and secure the necessary resources. This involves understanding their perspective and presenting a compelling business case. Question 20. The project team is frequently interrupted by informal information requests from various stakeholders, impacting productivity. What is the best collaborative solution for the project manager to manage these requests effectively? A. Instruct the team to ignore all informal requests. B. Establish a clear communication plan that defines formal channels, reporting cadences, and preferred methods for information sharing. C. Hire an administrative assistant to handle all stakeholder inquiries. D. Provide minimal information to stakeholders to reduce their questions. Answer: B. Establish a clear communication plan that defines formal channels, reporting cadences, and preferred methods for information sharing. Constant informal information requests can indeed disrupt a project team's productivity. The most effective collaborative solution is to proactively establish a clear communication plan. This plan should define the preferred channels, frequency, and types of information stakeholders can expect to receive, as well as how they can formally submit requests or provide feedback. By setting clear expectations and providing structured alternatives, the project manager can reduce ad hoc interruptions while still keeping stakeholders informed and engaged. A well-defined communication strategy benefits everyone. Question 21. A project manager needs to resolve a significant conflict between two highly influential stakeholders regarding a key technical decision. Both stakeholders are experts in their fields and hold strong, opposing views. What is the most appropriate conflict resolution technique to facilitate collaboration? A. Forcing one stakeholder's view over the other based on project manager's authority. B. Smoothing, by downplaying the differences and focusing on areas of agreement. C. Compromising, where each stakeholder gives up something to reach a partial agreement. D. Collaborating/problem solving, by bringing both parties together to find a mutually beneficial solution that satisfies both concerns. Answer: D. Collaborating/problem solving, by bringing both parties together to find a mutually beneficial solution that satisfies both concerns. When dealing with highly influential stakeholders holding strong, opposing views on a critical decision, the collaborating/problem solving technique is generally the most effective. This approach, also known as win-win, involves open discussion, deep understanding of underlying needs, and joint exploration of alternatives to arrive at a solution that fully satisfies both parties' concerns, rather than just a partial compromise. It strengthens relationships and leads to more robust, sustainable decisions. Always aim for collaborative solutions that address root causes. Question 22. In an Agile project, a product owner is struggling to balance the competing priorities of multiple business units who are all key stakeholders. How can the Scrum Master or project manager best support the product owner in this collaboration challenge? A. Take over the product backlog prioritization to relieve the product owner. B. Facilitate workshops for the business units to collaboratively prioritize features and resolve conflicting demands. C. Advise the product owner to only prioritize the demands of the most senior business unit. D. Inform the business units that the product owner makes all final decisions and will not be swayed. Answer: B. Facilitate workshops for the business units to collaboratively prioritize features and resolve conflicting demands. In Agile, the product owner is responsible for maximizing value, which includes managing stakeholder priorities. When multiple business units have competing demands, the Scrum Master or Project Manager can best support the product owner by facilitating collaborative workshops. These sessions enable direct dialogue among business units to understand each other's needs, discuss the value and interdependencies of features, and collectively arrive at a prioritized product backlog that reflects a shared understanding and commitment. This fosters shared ownership and effective prioritization. Question 23. A project manager discovers that a critical external vendor, identified as a key stakeholder, has misunderstood a fundamental requirement for a crucial deliverable, despite previous communications. What should the project manager do first to realign them? A. Issue a formal warning letter to the vendor for non-compliance. B. Immediately terminate the vendor's contract due to misunderstanding. C. Schedule a direct, collaborative meeting with the vendor to clarify the requirement and understand their perspective. D. Resend the original requirement documentation via email. Answer: C. Schedule a direct, collaborative meeting with the vendor to clarify the requirement and understand their perspective. When a key vendor misunderstands a critical requirement, the immediate and most effective action is to engage in direct, collaborative communication. Scheduling a meeting allows the project manager to clearly re-explain the requirement, answer any questions, and, importantly, understand the vendor's perspective and the root cause of the misunderstanding. This proactive engagement helps correct the course quickly, prevents further issues, and maintains a productive working relationship with the vendor. Always prioritize clear, two-way communication to prevent costly errors. Question 24. Which of the following is a key benefit of continuously engaging stakeholders throughout the project lifecycle? A. It eliminates all project risks and issues. B. It increases administrative burden for the project manager. C. It fosters shared ownership, reduces resistance, and improves project outcomes. D. It allows the project manager to delegate all decision-making authority. Answer: C. It fosters shared ownership, reduces resistance, and improves project outcomes. Continuously engaging stakeholders offers significant benefits for a project. When stakeholders are consistently involved, they develop a sense of ownership over the project's goals and deliverables, which in turn reduces potential resistance to changes or outcomes. This active involvement also leads to better decision-making, earlier issue identification, and ultimately, a project that is more aligned with stakeholder needs and therefore more successful. Think of it as building a strong support network for your project. Question 25. A project is facing unexpected budget cuts, which will require significant scope adjustments. Several key stakeholders will be negatively impacted by these changes. What is the most collaborative way to manage their expectations and secure their continued support? A. Make the adjustments unilaterally and inform stakeholders after the fact. B. Convene a meeting with impacted stakeholders to explain the situation, discuss potential options, and collaboratively prioritize adjustments. C. Blame the budget cuts on an external department to deflect stakeholder anger. D. Only communicate the changes to the project sponsor and avoid informing other stakeholders. Answer: B. Convene a meeting with impacted stakeholders to explain the situation, discuss potential options, and collaboratively prioritize adjustments. When faced with difficult news like budget cuts, impacting scope, transparency, and collaborative decision-making are paramount for maintaining stakeholder trust and support. The most effective approach is to convene a meeting with all impacted stakeholders to openly explain the situation, discuss the implications, and collaboratively explore and prioritize the necessary scope adjustments. This approach acknowledges their concerns, involves them in the problem-solving process, and fosters a shared understanding of the revised path forward. Shared decision-making often leads to greater acceptance of difficult changes.